for annual board elections. Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson is not here. Commissioner Connell is not here. Commissioner Caldwell?
Here.
Commissioner Giorgiani is not here. Commissioner Ovando?
Yes.
And Chair?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a quorum. Pledge allegiance.
I was looking. Pleasure.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to open up the floor for nominations for the position of officers. Are there any nominations at this time?
I would like to nominate Yurgo Wally as chair.
Second.
Are there any other nominations for any other positions on the board?
I'd like to nominate Tony Giorgiani as vice chair.
Second.
Hearing no further nominations, we will close the floor.
I'm sorry, second. You have a second vice chair position?
Second.
You just did Commissioner Giorgiani for vice chair, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you still have second vice chair. I'm sorry,
No,
you have second vice chair, yeah.
Second.
Nominate Kevin as second vice chair.
So that's Yurgo?
Second.
Mr. Capan will be reelected if he never shows up for meetings.
Sir, this is not the public comment period yet. We're holding the election of officers. There will be a public comment period during the meeting.
I'm sorry, so there's a nomination, was there a second?
Yes,
For the-
second.
Yes.
Thank you, Dale. And you had, Ovando did the other two, right? I guess. Okay, I'm good.
We'll just read that one.
Sure. Right now, we have nominations for chair, Commissioner Yurgo Waldy, for vice chair, Commissioner Anthony Giorgiani, and for second vice chair, Commissioner Kevin Jones.
So hearing no further nominations, we will close the floor to nominations for the position of officer. And we'll have a roll call vote on the slate currently proposed.
Okay.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell?
Yes.
Commissioner Ovando?
Yes.
Commissioner Waldy?
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes 4-0.
And that will conclude the election of officers.
You have to adjourn this meeting?
Adjourn.
Yeah. Good.
So you need to call for a motion to adjourn.
So motion to.
Okay.
Second.
I'm sorry, hold on. Commissioner Caldwell, motion,
Kevin, second.
and Commissioner Jones, second. Roll call, ready?
Yeah.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell?
Yes.
Commissioner Ovando?
Yes.
And Mr. Chair?
Yes.
That motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
Meeting is adjourned.
Congratulations.
Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner Caldwell?
Here.
Commissioner Ovando?
Here.
And Chairman Waldy?
Yes.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Pleasure.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice.
Notice of public meeting was given in the following manner. Notice of meeting was transmitted to the Home News Tribune. Said notice of the meeting and a copy of the agenda were filed with the Office of City Clerk on July 22nd, 2016. And said notice and a copy of the agenda were prominently posted on the announcement board in the lobby of City Hall, 78 Bayard Street, at least 48 hours prior to the convening of this meeting.
Okay, we don't have any meeting minutes now. I think May and June minutes will be presented in September.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any business?
Yeah.
Okay. Resolution number 26 is a resolution authorizing and approving the payment of bills for the month of June 2016.
So moved. Second.
Can you?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Jones? These are the monthly bills for the month of June.
That's it. Okay.
Okay, Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell?
Yes.
Commissioner Ovando?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. You want business?
Yeah.
Okay. Any public comment?
Good evening, members of the board, everybody else. I'm Charlie Crandeville. I'm from New Brunswick. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today, as you know, community newspaper. I wanted to ask first to follow up on my suggestion about testing the water in this complex, the drinking water, and also considering, offering blood tests for the children. Has the board considered this? Is this something you're interested in doing?
Yeah, we explained that last month at the last meeting that we're interested in, we'll follow up on it, right?
Sure. So what progress has been made in the past month since the last meeting?
We haven't made any progress. We actually contacted the city. They did say they test the water throughout the system. And they said if anyone has any questions, they can contact the city water department about any tests. So we feel confident in the city's testing of the water.
Okay, so you're not going to engage in any further testing, independent?
No, we don't get involved, the city gets involved, water testing.
Okay, because when it comes to lead, like I explained, basically the city doesn't test here. The city only tests homes that were built between a certain range of years, and this complex is not part of that. So as far as lead and copper testing goes, the city's only going to test if you ask them to, and or take it upon yourselves to do it. So while some people may be satisfied with the explanation we've received, I am not, and I think that you should pursue this suggestion aggressively, especially considering the age of these buildings and the fact that the McKinley School had faucets with lead-contaminated water as well. So, I mean, children are especially vulnerable. If they're getting it at school and then getting it at home, that's a bad situation.
If it's a school situation, you have to talk to the city. We're not, we're the housing authority, so.
Of course,
we're not
well,
involved in that.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
it makes it doubly worse for the children
Okay.
if they're drinking lead at home and in school, so.
Any other comment?
Sure, in September, I brought some, constructive feedback on an event that I really enjoyed, National Night Out. I wanted to know if the board has considered or is gonna do things any differently this year.
We actually have our National Night Out is next Tuesday. We'll be meeting tomorrow actually to go over our agenda, but we plan on continuing to celebrate the night with our community activists and community representatives and our residents. I don't know, when you say different, I don't know what you mean.
I raised an issue that it was basically a sit-down dinner for the police and the politicians and everyone else while the community was all outside. They kind of had to wait their turn to eat, and
Yeah, I
it
don't
really
know.
kept the police and the community separate for the most part.
I-
The police were all in here dining while during most of their 20 or 30 minutes at this stop.
Yeah, I don't, again, I believe it's a pretty,
Makes sense.
it's a pretty interactive event. We'll have our meeting tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll plan it and go ahead and do it. Usually, I'm not sure what the weather's gonna be like, so there will be people inside and outside, but I did hear your suggestion, and I think we'll take that into consideration, as well as trying to make sure that
Yeah, even,
we allow people an area to maybe rest inside and get out of the heat, because I suspect it's
Sure.
gonna be pretty hot.
I mean, I've attended several of them, people come in and out while.
Yeah, it's pretty interactive.
Yeah,
It's
so
pretty
yeah,
interactive,
yeah,
because we
so
get a
it's not-
large group of people that come in at one time,
Yeah.
and they only have a certain amount of time to stop here. We'd like to try to get them through in a regimented means, but it's a mixed and interactive event, and we'll try to continue to allow it to be that. But I did understand your comments last time, and I'll discuss that tomorrow when we have our meeting.
Thank you for taking it into consideration.
Definitely.
I appreciate it. I wanted to address the parking fines. Did the operations committee have their meeting?
No, we didn't have the meeting.
Okay. When will the board be getting a full report on this matter?
Well, as soon as we can get the operations committee together. I know that it's been challenging because of people's schedules, but I suspect that we'll get them together in the summer, and I'll be able to update them on everything.
Good.
So before the next meeting, I'm sure.
Okay, great. And can you just tell me who is on the operations committee?
Sure. Yeah, Commissioner Walde, Commissioner Caldwell, and Commissioner Capano.
Okay, so might not see Commissioner Lupano.
Well, the meeting, you know, again, that's who's on it.
Okay.
The meeting can occur with 2 of the members or 3 of the
Understood.
members, which we will continue to make sure it does.
Okay. And,
Any additional comment?
yes,
Before-
specifically, you know, before you have your meeting, I want to talk to you about this. I want to tell you that I think you should take a deeper look at the fines that are being issued, just based on the results of some Oprah documents I was able to get finally. I would be concerned not just that some of the tickets were too high of a price, or the fines were, you know, $50 in some cases when your max was 25, and I understand people's accounts have been credited for the difference.
I think we have discussed that several times. I mean, you're just repeating the
Yeah,
same thing. Okay,
maybe
so
so.
you have another comment?
Yes, I'm getting to it.
Yeah, because you have only additional 2 minutes.
Okay, sure. So I think that you should actually go back and completely overturn all of the violations that took place on city streets. Because the jurisdiction is not within the housing authority to be leveling parking violations for parking on a public street. That rests with the parking authority, and they have the authority to issue the fines. So I would contend that, I don't know how deeply it was looked at, but all of the fines that took place on city streets, which I believe is the vast majority of them,
I don't know.
ought to be
That's okay.
completely
We're-
overturned. And that has not been done yet, and I'd
Okay,
like
we'll
that to
look
be
at it,
addressed
but
by
I
the
don't know if
operations
that the
committee
majority
when you
will
have your
look at
meeting.
it.
I also think you should revisit any parking policies that you have and work with the parking authority, which I know is something you said you want to do, and it's probably already in the works. And then the last point is, I think that you should investigate all the other fines that have been put against people's accounts, because some of them seem onerous, like $14 to get your light bulbs changed is not something that I've ever had a landlord tell me I need to do, and I don't think the folks in this complex should be subjected to that either. I know we've discussed it in the past, but I think that since this has risen to the level where there's an investigation and there's going to have to be a special meeting of this committee, please look into all the fines, not just the parking. This is not a...
What
just-
investigation are you talking about?
the investigation into how people were being overcharged.
Yeah, but you're talking about your comments, right? It's not an investigation.
Well, no, it was my
Yeah.
investigation. Well, my review of the fines
Okay,
that were
follow
levied.
up.
Correct, it was an
Okay,
internal
okay,
review,
so,
an
yeah.
internal, I mean, investigation is.
Yeah.
Sure,
okay.
and it resulted in...
That resulted in us actually going back and doing the credit.
Our own follow-up on it.
Just real quick to piggyback, we actually have had some discussions with the parking authority, but that will all be part of the operations committee
Great.
discussion.
Great, and just take a deeper look at those fines. It's not just the ones that were 50 instead of 25. I think you should really overturn all the violations on city streets and investigate all of the other fines that are going on. People are being really nickel and dimed by the authority, it looks like.
Any other
Just
comment from the public?
congratulations on your
Thank you, sir.
reappointment as chair.
Appreciate
Thank you for your time.
From the public, please?
Ernest Docks from Middlesex County.
I'm sorry, Ernest, what's your last name?
Docks, D-O-C-A.
D-O-C-K?
D-O-C-A.
D-O-C-S, thank you, Ernest.
We're in Middlesex County.
Metuchen.
Thank you, Ernest.
So I had a question. When was the last date that Mr. Cupano attended the meeting?
Okay, I think we have repeated this issue several times. We're not the appointing authority, so I think you have to contact the appointing authority.
Have you had any contact with him? Do you know if he's sick, or do you know? Have you contacted them to ask why he's not?
No. Okay.
Now,
Well,
what did
so
he-
I think you can follow up with Charlie, because Charlie said he was gonna write the governor a letter.
Yeah.
So if Charlie wrote that letter, then maybe you can ask Charlie what the result was from writing that letter to Governor Christie, because that's a governor's appointment.
Now, the expensive cost with the light bulbs, was that because it's not a standard bulb, or?
I'm not really sure what the costs are that you're talking about are. I do know that we have different costs for the 4-foot fluorescent bulbs like you see here. Those bulbs are typically $7 for us to replace them if they're damaged, broken, or destroyed. And they would really only be charged if they were damaged, broken, destroyed, or removed. So I guess if you have 2 4-foot fluorescent bulbs that were damaged, destroyed, or removed, it could be $14. I don't know if that's what the fine he's referring to is, but that's the only math that I can think.
Well, I don't
get
understand
up to
why
be
there
$14.
would be those kind of fixtures. That's more like a,
Kitchen, it's a kitchen light. So when you're in the kitchen, one light lights up the entire kitchen. It's one main fixture when you go into the kitchen. So I believe that's the light. Again, I haven't seen what,
so wouldn't it save residents money if it was a standard fixture that they could replace the bulb themselves? Or?
residents can. You know, the only time that, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, the only time that residents are charged is if there's a damaged, destroyed, or removed item, or if it's, if there's tampering or we're contacted to replace an item. A resident has a right to replace a bulb, replace a light bulb anytime they want. However, if we do an inspection and there's a broken light bulb that wasn't reported, then we have a duty to replace the light bulb to make sure there's light in the unit. So that really is the only time that I think
Okay,
that
so
the
a
charge would
resident
go for.
could be fined whether they want something fixed or not.
If a resident has an item that's damaged and doesn't report it, you're saying?
Yeah, they could be fined for that item.
Yeah, if there's an inspection and it's a health and safety issue, absolutely. If lighting is a health and safety issue, water, heat is a health and safety issue, electric service, electric items are health and safety, windows, door locks.
So with the history of this complex, have they ever tested the water or the pipes or any?
The city actually came and did a test at the request of one of the residents, I believe in 2015, Charlie, roughly, I think, actually he was involved or remember. That test actually is available at the city, so they did come and test the water and found no issues with the water at that time. But they do regularly test the system, which is what I was told by the city.
Well, like the school, had the issue that those pipes could be anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not
so
aware. I'm not aware of the schools, details of the school's issue.
I understand that's a separate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but just within the city, it could be an issue whether they want to look at it or not. All right.
We understand.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Roll
Roll
call. Congratulations, Chair. Commissioner Jones?
Yeah,
Commissioner Caldwell?
Yes.
Commissioner Ovando?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0. And we are adjourned. Chair, I need you for like 5 minutes.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.